Hello, greetings to Slovenia from Seattle, Washington. I'm so sorry that I can't be there in person to see you all and meet you and learn about your work, but very happy to be invited to be part of your celebration day today. I look forward to getting to meet you in person one day. So I'm going to review today a little bit about the teacher programs, but to start with that, let's just look a little bit about what you've already accomplished. First of all, you can see in this slide that Slovenia has selected 4 of the incredible years building blocks for promoting children's social, emotional, and academic skills. So you've started by choosing the preschool basic program for children ages 3 to 6, and then you moved down to offering the baby program, the teacher training program, and the child treatment program. All 4 programs you've taken on board. And as you can see from this slide, the one that you have delivered the most is the basic preschool parenting program. Most of this, there's a small number of these, has been the school age program, but mostly you have focused on the younger age group, which is just great. In addition, you can see from this slide that there are 110 group leaders in the basic, 14 in the baby, 27 in the small group, Dinah, and 40 in the teacher training program that have been trained so far. Out of that, here, the data that I received from you shows that about over 2,000 parents have received the program and around 300 teachers have received the program. So that's a great accomplishment, which I hope you will celebrate today. Okay, so why was it that Slovenia chose these incredible years evidence-based programs? What was the selection process? Well, let's look first of all about what it means to be an evidence-based program. So just by way of review, it means a program, a mental health program for children that has had at least 2 published research trials, with the important thing being that it's a randomized control group trial. So it is compared against a group of parents who didn't get the program in terms of the outcomes. In addition, it means that there's been at least 1 replication, an independent replication, by somebody other than the developer of the program. It also means that the study itself has used measures such as mother and father reports or teacher reports, child assessments, that there have been individual observations of the children in the home or the children in the classroom, standardized children assessments as well. All of our studies that we've done in our clinic here in Seattle has included independent observations, which I think is a key measure to be using to see whether the parents actually use or the teachers use the skills that you have been teaching them. And finally, there should be at least 1 year follow-up to see what sustainability there is to the program. So by way of review, I've been doing these studies. My first study was in 1979. So I've gone several decades of studies looking at the parent programs and then the teacher and then the child programs. And so we've seen in regard to the parent programs, we ourselves have had at least 9 randomized control trials, treatment trials, and 4 prevention trials. In addition, there have been 14 independent replications by other countries, such as Canada, England, Finland, Holland, Norway, Portugal, Spain, and Wales. For the child programs, there have been 3 treatment trials and 2 prevention trials by ourselves in Seattle, and there has been at least 3 independent trials from 4 countries, including Norway, Wales, Spain, and United States. For the teacher program, which we'll talk about today, there have been 3 randomized control trials by ourselves and at least 7 independent trials from 5 countries, including Ireland, Norway, Portugal, England, and the United States. So indeed, these programs that you have chosen are evidence-based. So for today, I'm going to talk a little bit about the teacher programs in particular, and I will start first with the one that you have delivered to more than 300 teachers at this point, which is called the Teacher Classroom Management Program. This program comes, for those of you who don't know much about it, it comes with a packet of materials that includes an extensive group leader manual, texts for the teachers to use, as well as video clips of teacher-student interactions. These can be on a DVD form, USB, or can be provided by streaming online. It also includes some other posters as well, some materials on how to calm down, and some stickers for the teachers and fun things like that. So why the decision to involve teachers in the classroom management training to promote social and emotional competence? Well, one of the things we know in the U.S., our teachers of our 5 to 6 year olds in the United States report that at least half of their students are lacking the emotional self-regulations and social skills to function in what we call kindergarten, which is the first year of the primary grades when they're 5. And we do know that about 16 to 30% of the children coming from poverty situations are displaying aggressive behavior programs. So in this case, we use Head Start, which is a special program, preschool program for families that are living in socioeconomically disadvantaged situations. We see about 16 to 30% of the kids who are having some behavior problems. They may be aggressive, or they may be internalizing problems. They may be anxiety and withdrawal. And we found that teachers report that classroom behavior is one of their biggest challenges. And they are requesting help in terms of how to manage these children. Well, training then is it's an opportunity for teachers to be able to promote the children's mental health, their resilience, and their emotional self-regulation skills. So I see it as a unique opportunity, particularly for students who may be coming from situations where there's been abuse or neglect involved, or perhaps they have some developmental delays, as a way to strengthen the children's mental health and to support families. A supportive child-parent-teacher relationship may enhance the resiliency of the children who have experienced some disadvantaged situations and provide support for the vulnerable parents as well. The teacher classroom management goals are to promote nurturing teacher-student-parent relationships, to help the teachers use proactive teaching strategies, to prevent problems with children's behavior management, to decrease the children's inappropriate behavior, and also to promote the children's development of language, of social skills, of positive peer relationships, of emotional literacy, to be able to problem solve, and ultimately then to have the school readiness skills so that they can engage in productive academic learning. What's the program look like? For those of you who have done the parent program, the methods and processes are very similar to what we do in the parent and child programs. One of the things we focus on in terms of fidelity or quality delivery of the training is how we can use the program to adapt to the student's individual developmental difference, how we can address trauma situations. So the program is trauma informed, and we'll deal with that. For example, with COVID, how do we help the teachers help the children deal with their anxiety around the COVID situation, or other things that can come up in the environment, be it some other disaster in the environment, or something around the weather, hurricanes, and so forth. We most importantly want to address the teacher goals for themselves as well as for their students. The program itself emphasizes the therapeutic relationship. Collaboration is the name of the game, how we collaborate with the teachers to solve the problems. We're not a didactic program, but we work with them together to solve the problems. The program is based on principles training, and that is that we teach them principles that they can apply to their specific goals for themselves or the students, such as the attention principle, understanding that the behavior that gets attention is going to be increased. The program also is based on a coping model. It encourages the teachers for self-reflection, to think about what they do and what they might want to do differently, to engage in experiential learning. So we practice a lot of things together. We send them home with assignments to try in the classroom, and it's based on problem solving, teachers problem solving together, solutions to their situations. Again, the fidelity or the quality delivery of the training includes such things as using videotapes, videotape modeling, so that teachers can watch other teachers and discuss the approaches being used. We use a lot of practice in these, we call them role plays, where we act out different ways that we might respond to a child who is dysregulated, who is difficult, or who has language delays. We focus equally on the cognitions of the teachers or the children, as well as their affect, how they feel about things, as well as the specific behaviors to use. And these three components are important in thinking about the teachers as well as in thinking about the children. As I mentioned, there's online classrooms, practice assignments. Every week, teachers make their goals for the week, and they monitor their own success with that. Group support is a huge part of it, how the teachers can support each other in their strategies and share their ideas and learn from each other. Adapting also includes adapting to the culture, whether it's of the teacher or the country or the community, the contextual and the family differences that exist for the different children or students. We have a teacher toolkit, and these are some of the ideas that we use with teachers, that they have a lot of tools that they can choose to use depending on what the situation or what the goals are for their children. So the goals for come from their teaching pyramid, and that is how they use positive modeling, how they use social and emotional coaching, how they set up academic coaching, how they use rewards and praise, how they show that they love their students, what kind of physical warmth they show, and how they shape behaviors in small steps towards the goal that they want. We have a discipline toolkit too, which is the second half of the pyramid. The first part of the pyramid, we're really building the foundation of the relationships between the teachers and the students. And the second half, we are dealing with how we want to decrease certain behaviors. And that can be with clear limit setting. It can be with a logical or consequence, things that we ignore. When we distract, when we redirect the children to something more productive, how we set up clear routines, and how we deal with destructive behavior should it occur, and how we teach the positive opposite behaviors. They may know not to hit, but they may not to do instead of hitting to get what they want. Finally, we have a toolkit for the teacher's self-care. So how they forgive themselves, how they have positive imagery about their own skills or the students' futures, how they reward themselves and praise themselves, how they learn to take deep breaths to calm down, to stay patient with the process and think positive things, and do that with themselves and do that with their colleagues, with other teachers as well. So what research we've done, I mentioned a little bit earlier, but just again to remind you, we've had 3 randomized controlled trials with this program ourselves in Seattle, and 7 independent ones in other countries, where we have seen, compared to a control condition, we have seen reductions in classroom aggression, increases in the children's social and emotional and language competence, as well as increases in school readiness and school success, and increases in the parent involvement in their children's education. And that is one of our goals for how we help the teachers reach out and connect with the teachers, and they work together in terms of helping the children be successful in school. So I just want to say that what we do know now is the earlier we start, the better. So starting at a younger age makes a big difference. So we want to take the program to daycare centers and to preschools for children as soon as possible. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about another program that's called The Incredible Beginnings. And this is a program that stems from the Teacher Classroom Management Program with the same methods, the same processes of delivery, the same number of sessions, which is usually 6 to 7 full-day sessions spaced every 2 weeks to 4 weeks throughout the school year. And this is a program for children ages 1 to 5. So it's trying to bring the program as soon as possible, as many children are in daycare settings. And maybe they're spending more time in daycare settings than they are actually in the classroom or with their parents. So this is the next program that I want to show you. As I mentioned, it has all the similar package, different videos and a different leader manual, uses the same teacher book, and some other accessory materials, some laminated cards, because we use a lot of visuals with young children. So we provide some of those sorts of things as well. We work quite a lot in terms of what it is we are doing in terms of promoting young children's brain development, in terms of its social, emotional, cognitive, and language connections. We have learned so much in the last 10 to 20 years about brain development and how important those early years are. And so we really help the child care providers understand the importance of strengthening those connections, those neuron connections that we want to see more of, and how they can help prune away the ones that are less optimal for the children's futures. The topics will look a little bit familiar to you in terms of TCM, although one of the things that's a little bit different is that we're working on separation anxiety, because daycare can be the children's first time being away and out of their home. Extensive work we do on language development. Sad to say that there are many children that arrive in school who are delayed in their language because they haven't had so much of it at home. We promote social emotional coaching, and we work a lot on how to do that visually, as well as using language, as well as doing other techniques, such as visual prompts, for example. We talk about proactive teaching, behavior management, how to partner with the parents, and how to work with the teachers, again, with reducing their stress and building their support networks. We do have a protocol for toddlers. That is what we call tweenies. Tweenies are 1-year-old to sort of 18 months old, and then toddlers. We have a specific training, again, 6 sessions for that age, and then we have another one for the 3 to 5-year-olds. So you can do each of those separately, or if you mix the ages, then it'll probably take 7 sessions to do both. As I mentioned earlier, you can offer these trainings, full-day trainings, every couple of weeks or every month throughout the year. And like the TCM, the other program, we have the ongoing assignments that the teachers get between sessions, and we provide coaching. We'll go into the daycare settings or the classrooms and support the teachers with what they're doing there. So we do have a pyramid, again, for teaching toddlers and preschoolers. again, we can see we work really hard on building a strong foundational base of the relationship between the daycare providers or the preschoolers and the children, as well as the parents. And then we progress as we go up the pyramid to dealing with more of the behavior management issues, how to have predictable routines, what behaviors can be ignored, and what possible consequences there might be. Methods are the same, so I won't repeat it here. It's the same. It's a developmental focus, focusing on cognitive, behavior, and affective components, lots of practices, lots of emphasis on group support. So here I'm going to show you a videotape that just overviews the program. It's about 2 minutes long, so let's just take a look at that.
Oh, do you want more berries, Bella?
Baby.
Oh, berries!
Developmental research has indicated that toddlers and preschoolers are incredible learners with an enormous intrinsic capacity and curiosity to learn.
Baby.
Berries are awesome.
Good job.
It's my turn. Nice asking.
Furthermore, brain research indicates that the sculpting of young children's brain architecture is highly influenced by their early social interactional experiences with parents, daycare providers, and teachers.
Yay! Emmendale, you did it!
Caregivers who consistently provide sensitive, supportive, and nurturing responses are supporting children to develop secure attachments and optimal development.
Oh, nice job, Cara.
The teaching pyramid helps to explain the topics we will discuss in this series. The basic premise of the teaching pyramid model is that positive teacher-child-parent relationships form the foundation necessary to successfully nurture and scaffold young children's learning growth. The base of the pyramid includes big doses of love, caring, and child-directed play on the part of teachers and childcare providers. It also includes narrated descriptive commentary to promote children's language development and social and emotional coaching. These approaches are provided liberally and consistently so that the children feel more confident, learn ways to express their needs, and develop secure relationships with their caregivers. As we move up the pyramid further, other proactive teaching tools are discussed, such as predictable routines, rules, and activity transitions, which scaffold the child's drive for autonomy. At the top of the pyramid are positive behavior management strategies, such as effective limit setting, redirection, distraction, and attention to positive behaviors, which help children manage their active, exploratory drive and normal, challenging behaviors.
This is the way we wash the table.
Each of the subsequent programs will show teaching strategies for toddlers ages 1 to 3 years, as well as for preschoolers ages 3 to 5 years.
I hear a zookeeper whistling in my ear.
First says, get plate.
We will end with some teacher-directed play scripts to help scaffold learning for preschool children with developmental delays.
Get plate. So good.
Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. I think you can see that on our website too if you want to take a look at more of the vignettes there and see what they look like. So next, I'm going to talk to you about another program, and this one is the program for teachers of children who are on the autism spectrum. And so we'll talk a little bit about that program. Again, use many of the same methods and processes that we use in the other programs themselves. But this program is for children ages, it says it's ages 2 to 5 years. So again, my idea has been to go younger, to try to get to these children as soon as possible, because we know that brain's developing, it's under construction, and we want to maximize those good neuron connections and just as soon as possible. So it's called the Helping Preschool Children with Autism. It can be offered just to the daycare providers and teachers, or we also can talk about the parents joining in this training as well. So we find that, again, at 2 to 6 years, it says here, it can be a supplement to the teacher classroom management program. So you're already showing that one, and you may add this on as a supplement following that. Similarly for the parents. If the parents have been through the basic program, they might want to take this program as well because it's focusing more on how the children are interacting with other children. It's the peer relationships in group settings. It's best offered to preschool teachers after they've taken the Incredible Beginnings program, which I just showed you. So this is a supplement to that training for teachers who have more children in their classrooms who have developmental delays or are on the autism spectrum. It has three main content areas. That is how to promote language development, promote social interactions, and promote emotional literacy and self-regulation. So here's a little introductory to that program, and it's about 5 minutes long, so we'll show that.
What do you think, Hudson? Juice or warm milk? What would you like?
Children with language delays and those on the autism spectrum are unique, with different sets of developmental delays, challenges, and special gifts. However, most of these children have trouble connecting, communicating, sharing feelings, and paying attention to people around them. For many, developing and understanding speech and responding to other people's speech or gestures is difficult, even though they may learn to repeat others' words.
That says wait 1 minute.
Wait 1 minute.
Wait 1 minute.
Wait 1 minute.
Unlike most preschool children, children on the autism spectrum are less interested in playing with other children or may want to interact but don't know how.
There you go. Nice. Yep, you need to wait.
Waiting.
They have particular difficulty with turn-taking, sharing, imitating, gesturing, and even noticing what others are doing in play. They often prefer to play alone and are more focused on exploring objects than people. They can be engaged in solitary, repetitive play for long periods of time, thus are deprived of social learning opportunities with adults and other children. Like preschool children, children on the autism spectrum and with language difficulties also have difficulty regulating their emotional responses. They may exhibit challenging behaviors such as oppositionality, tantrums, or hitting when frustrated.
I wonder how might Tiny be feeling. Here, you take it.
In this program, we will discuss ways teachers and parents can work together to provide one-on-one coaching with a child, as well as small group coaching with 2 to 3 children ages 3 to 5 years.
Oh, Hudson says I want to drive.
By modeling, prompting, coaching, and scaffolding young children's play interactions at this strategic time in their brain development, child care providers can strengthen their language, social, and emotional development. In particular, we will talk about 3 different types of coaching methods, all of which will support children's school readiness.
You listened to your friend Atticus and you shared some of your Play-Doh.
In Part 1, we discuss how teachers and parents can be child-directed and use focused attention, imitation, gestures, and descriptive commenting to narrate children's actions and behaviors.
Doors in the bus thing. Open and shut. Open and shut. Open and shut.
This adult-narrated attention contributes to children's language development, as well as a strong emotional bond. In addition, you will learn about a kind of descriptive commenting called pre-academic coaching. This is used when you turn up the volume of your communication and attention to describe pre-academic concepts, such as colors, shapes, names of objects, numbers, and positions of things the child is playing with.
You switched it to go in red because it matches with the red?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so smart.
Finally, you will see ways teachers can use visual prompts and scaffolded exercises to practice reciprocal interactions with peers.
What is Hudson like?
What?
Hudson likes Bud.
I like one too.
Tell Hudson.
I like one too.
Oh.
In Part 2, we discuss how teachers can use social coaching with small groups of children to model and prompt children's social interactions and to set up learning opportunities using teacher-directed play scripts.
Get pizza.
In Part 3, we discuss the importance of teachers and parents drawing attention to children's feelings by using another kind of coaching called emotion coaching.
Look, you look sad. Oh, if you were here, we could give him a pat or a hug.
This is helpful for all children, but especially for children with language delays or on the autism spectrum. Labeling feelings at the same time a child is having a particular feeling helps the child link the feeling words to an internal emotional state.
You flapping your arms because you're excited? You say, I flap my arms when I'm excited.
I flap something outside when I'm excited.
Yeah.
Once children have developed a feeling vocabulary, then they can share their feelings with others and ultimately learn to recognize feelings in others and respond sensitively.
Yeah, you had an owie at the garden.
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you sad when it happened? Yeah.
Tiny's feeling a little scared. He says, "Oh, I'm scared."
In this part of the program, you will also learn strategies for helping children develop emotional regulation. Because children are visual thinkers and love imaginary play, you will learn about using puppets, books,
You're making a silly face, huh?
breathing methods, and the calm down thermometer to help children learn self-calming skills.
You think you might be a little worried? Oh, poor guy.
Okay, having seen that video, just want to show you here, one of the things we talk a lot about with children that are on the spectrum is how to get in their attention spotlight. How can we connect with them? And there are a variety of things that we talk about this. We talk about pretend play and puppet play, how we can really get into their attention spotlight using the puppets, how we can model skills for them, get them to attend to some of the things that the puppets are modeling for them, how we can use intentional communication to help them be aware of other students, hear what they're saying, hear what they're asking for. Do quite a bit on using visual prompts and pictures as a way of communicating with them, and to address some of their sensory needs, their likes, for example, with songs and singing, as well as physical movement. Again, we're child-directed in the way that we respond to them and imitate them, because they love to see us and feel we're really in their spotlight when we're imitating what they are doing. You use a lot of nonverbal gesturing to do things, so we communicate with more than just verbal approaches, with the visual and the gesturing and the signs and some of the physical prompts that we use, such as guiding hands, taking them to the hand to the apple and naming the apple. So that tells you a little bit about that program. And just to conclude this little piece of it, the last of the 3 programs, I just want to say that what we really know is, of course, starting with the parent program is one we want to do. It's a really important solution to the problem, because parents are primary agents of socialization for young children. Then providing teacher training, it does really increase our success in the sense that it provides supportive teacher-parent partnerships. And we have seen in our studies it reduces the children's aggression in the classroom, increases their sense of competence in the classroom, increases their social and emotional skills. And we have seen in our studies with children who have diagnoses that it increases our effective outcomes when it's combined with parent training. Okay, hopefully I have enticed you about how to use the different, or think about the different teacher or child care provider programs, and it's important in helping particularly more vulnerable children. Let me talk just a tiny bit about fidelity of program delivery and what we mean by that. And that refers to the integrity or the quality of the program implementation, the degree to which the program is delivered, the way we designed it, the way we researched it in the original model. And that basically means that you're using all the core components of the program. You're not leaving out bits, but you're doing the whole pyramid, starting with the foundation, that the dosage is the same as what we originally evaluated it in, that you're not reducing the dosage of the program. The quality of the methods that are used, the processes that are used in the Incredible Years program that include all the things about practicing and using the modeling and the vignettes. And it's the extent to which the participants are engaged and involved, how the teachers really get into trying to problem solve and figure out solutions for their goals and for their particular targeted students. And then how we differentiated, how we adapted as needed to the particular teachers or classrooms that we're using. So those are all the aspects of the quality delivery of the program. We know that when the program is delivered with fidelity or good quality, that we get results similar to our results in our studies and the other independent researchers' results. So the greater the fidelity, the better the outcomes. What have we learned about adaptability of the Incredible Years program? We do know that the programs are adaptable to different cultures, to different family risk factors. The development of IY, I embodied right from the beginning the process of adapting with fidelity, that is tailoring the program as needed. That is why we use the collaborative process of delivery, where we start with what the teacher goals are, and we do this in a problem-solving strategy. So the model itself of delivering Incredible Years programs includes adaptation and tailoring to the local populations, to the country, to the participant goals, and to the children's specific and individual developmental levels and diagnoses. These may be children who are on the spectrum, who have attention deficit disorder, or oppositional defiant, or anxious. So we adapt the program according to those specific goals. Now, beneficial adaptations occur when the language, the culture, and the family adaptations are made, when the program is tailored to the children's developmental level, when there is some individual classroom coaching support for the teachers, that's combined in addition to the group-based learning model. So it may be going into the classroom between the group sessions to provide support, to see how the teachers are doing in the classroom and to support their efforts. We found some studies done in this country where that additional support between sessions really enhanced our outcomes. The number of workshops maybe sometimes needed to be increased beyond the 6 or 7 full-day sessions. And that may be because we're using translators, or because we're working with a population of teachers who haven't had that much background in cognitive social learning. So we may need to enhance and add an additional amount of time. And the other thing is providing ongoing boosters for teachers to maintain the effects, to sustain the results, particularly in high-risk populations. Non-beneficial Incredible Years adaptability occurs when the program length is shortened, when key content is left out. We see less effective results. Also, when core training methods are left out. So, for example, vignettes aren't shown, or practices aren't set up, or the teachers don't have the books, or aren't given the assignments, or aren't being asked to do the buddy calls. The other non-beneficial adaptation is changing the sequence. So the sequence of the content, every workshop builds on what was learned in the prior workshop. So the sequence, starting with the foundation, is really key. And then finally, if the group leaders aren't adhering to the collaborative process, if they become more didactic, acting as an expert, but they're not addressing the teacher strengths in the program. So how are we doing in training others? So we are training in over 20 different countries around the world. And in Slovenia, you have a total of 191 people who've been trained in Incredible Years program. And you can see how you're doing in relative to some of the other countries, and growing. So that's exciting for me to see that happening in Slovenia. And this just shows you some of the different countries we've been working in. You can see it's cross-cultural in terms of a variety of countries, including using all of the programs in West Bank with Arabic-speaking teachers and parents, and with the children with the dinosaur program. That's one of the pictures here shows. So in summary, we see that the research is showing a picture of hope as well as of warning. It tells us it's really important to provide teachers and parents with adequate support systems to help them build strong bonds with their children, their students. It tells us the importance of teaching children social and emotional skills, particularly children from more vulnerable situations or contextual situations where there's things happening in the environment that are stressful, such as COVID as one example. It also warns us about the risks if we don't provide the environmental and the school support for families of young children. Nonetheless, having an evidence-based program is not enough. Good evidence-based dissemination means providing a solid construction foundation with quality training, quality supervision and consultation, ongoing peer support, consumer evaluations, and building a supportive agency infrastructure where you'll have accredited group leaders, and eventually you'll get some coaches and some mentors. So building that construction foundation, make sure it's solid. Take the time, be patient with that to start with, so that your time and efforts aren't wasted. Effective family and teacher interventions for young children will pay dividends far into the future for these children and their families. And I just want to thank Slovenia for taking this on board with their vision, their commitment to support families, teachers, and children in their early years, and to evaluate their outcomes. And so I hope you have a day today together where you share what you've been doing with each other, and really celebrate your successes. This is a lot of work to do, I know that. And so perhaps for me, developing the program was the easiest part, but you making it real for your teachers and your families is really what will make your program successful. So thank you very much to all of you. Do appreciate the work that you're doing to deliver in Slovenia, and I hope that one day I will get to see you in person, and really we can celebrate together. Wishing you all the best for a great day. Thanks so much.